What is going on YouTube? It's your homie S.Akuma1921 here, coming at you with my very first voiceover audio. Very excited to do these. Finally figured out how to do it on the system that I was working on, and so I'm here. So for my tournament matches, I would definitely like to start doing these. My exhibition matches, I probably won't, but there might be some specific plays that I want to talk about throughout this match that I do to have you understand why I did what I did based off the damage that's on the field on each character and so on and so forth. So it looks like I'm going second here versus Dinobots. Of course, I'm playing my tried and true Sentinels, the heavy orange Sentinels. I have this iteration of the deck, I think I played 42 cards. And I have a separate video talking about, or going to be talking about, why I played 42. Honestly, first off, let me say the biggest reason I played 42 was just an experiment. Coming from the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, there have been decks that have won tournaments or done well with, first of all, the minimum is 40. I've seen decks that were successful with 41, 42, 45, 60 cards. The mechanics are also different in the game. When you deck out in Yu-Gi-Oh, you lose. When you deck out in this game, you just reshuffle your deck. And one of the biggest things is I wanted to see how much it would actually matter. The percentage of a card that you want to see in your opening hand with a 3 of is like, for a 3 of and a 40 card deck, I think it's like a 20 something % chance. I forgot exactly what it is. Let me I had it written down here somewhere. Yeah, so 25.5% of opening up with a 3 of in your opening hand. But if you don't, well, the rest of the game you may not even see that card, because the way the game works out, you do so much flipping on attacking and defending, you may or may not see that card. So you rely on drawing one of these 3 of cards, through your Sunstreaker effect, incoming transmission, treasure hunt, or whatever you're playing, and so on and so forth. But anyway, so this matchup, of course, the only character I'm worried about in this matchup is Grimlock. If I can hold him from doing a lot of trample damage, I should be good, losing 2 characters at one time. One of the biggest strengths of the Sentinel deck is to be able to, being able to strip your opponent's hand with combo with Mirage, Espionage, and combat commands to reflip the Mirage. Slowing down the aggro deck so they are not having efficient turns, as in they're not able to efficiently play an upgrade and action that's good per se. Every turn is again one of the strengths of this deck, one of the main strengths. So it looks like here I did a double play. I did an Espionage and a Mirage and took 2 actions out of his hand, or I don't know, actually I missed that. Doing all this talking, I was actually kind of looking in space, forgive me. But okay, we got a Matrix of Leadership here. Looks like he's going in with Grimlock. I don't think I would have went in with Grimlock here. I mean, well, excuse me. Let's talk from my side. I'm happy that he went in with Grimlock right here, because there's no rollover damage, and now I can really target the Grimlock down to kill it here soon. So, and plus his sludge isn't flipped as well. So I think on my next couple of turns, I start going in on Grimlocks. I don't care about Snarl, that's for sure. He can really easily be taken out with another hit, and I'm not going to waste an attack. So I'm really going to try to get in on Grimlock here. I'm willing to bet. And plus, I don't think, just looking at his side, I think stealing his 2 of his cards was a big deterrent for him. And again, that's one of the strengths of this deck, especially with the Insecticon matchup. I have a match to post here in a little while that really displays how slowing them down is one of the only ways to win. It's a shame it has to be that way, but it is what it is. Bugs are, of course, still the #1 deck. That's a pretty annoying matchup. But again, forgive me for my audio. If it's whack, I apologize. This is my first time doing it. It's late, but I wanted to get this done. And of course, again, there will be more to come. Looking back at these videos, I slow play, and I don't slow play on purpose, but Jesus, I play slow. I got to work on that. I really want to calculate and make the best plays. When I look back, like, if I wasn't playing, I'd look back, you're like, why are you taking so long, bro? Hurry up. All right, so I make a really strong play here. I 1-shot stand, 1-shot fall my Ironhide, because he has more survivability. And it looks like I 1-hit KO the Grimlock. That was a really big deal. What was that, about 12? Yeah, I hit for 12 with the Prowl, and then 3 damage on it from the 1-shot stand was a really solid hit. So the only way Grimlock comes back this game, of course, is through I Still Function, and then he dies. I don't think I Still Function on Grimlock is as strong unless you have, like, I Still Function and Grenade Launcher. So at this point, I'm not too worried, because I don't have to worry about rollover damage. And if he is playing direct damage, he hasn't had any to easily kill my. He has to use an attack here. It wasn't like a super strong attack anyway, but he had to run that attack into him versus Prowl. See, now my Prowl is still undamaged, so he'll probably still survive through another attack, which I'm fine with. So here I draw for my turn. Yeah, again, this matchup, Grimlock is definitely very good versus other aggro matches. If he would have saved his Grimlock for his third attack, I might have been in trouble depending on what he would have had by then. Like I said, he's kind of in a top deck situation, and his only options are what he draws versus having his hand setting up, being able to prepare for, you know, Grimlock being a third attack. So that might have been a reason that he decided to go in with his Grimlock second to try to at least get some type of damage in there. So here it looks like I flip Hot Rod and I put one more damage on Snarl. Looks like I'm definitely trying to kill Snarl this turn, because afterwards it'll be Sludge versus my 2 bots. Matrix of Leadership just for the +1. Of course, it doesn't spread because Ironhide's not a leader. And I hit for some pretty good damage. Looks like I hit for 8 or 9. And it's just enough to kill, what's that, 4, 5, yeah. I think I just get there because he did flip 2 blues. So now right here, if he does not, oh, okay, I still function. And even then, I think none of my bots die. So, but in this situation, I think that was a good ISF play, because if he attacked with the Sludge, then I would get 2 attacks. So now I only get 1 attack here. Puts a good amount of damage on him. Living with 3 health left. One shall stand, one shall fall on his side would be very good for next turn. Yeah, direct damage is very important. Shout out to Vector Sigma. They're the ones that put me on to direct damage in the first place with their articles and talking to a couple of the players early on when I first started the game. Being able to use direct damage on a bot that has 3 or less health left, or whatever the case is. And, you know, the whole point is not wasting a big attack. Like, if you're not playing Grimlock with rollover damage, that's the only time that you want to, you know, attack a bot that has little to no health left. Okay, so I do have the out here. I do have the bashing shield for the force field, and Prowl attacks for a good 10 attacks, so that's a pretty strong attack. So next turn, it's looking like I'll be able to take it, depending on what he does here on his next turn. He looks like he's top decking. Okay, that was a good top deck. Sludge going in, healing for 1. Attacking here for me for 9, pierce 2. And I block for 2, so I take 7. Okay. So in this next turn, I'm looking at this now. If I was thinking as me at the time, definitely want to try to get the game over this turn. It makes sense to try to not give him any leg room to, you know, if he does play direct damage. I don't know if I really looked through his grade to see if he played direct damage at this point. I didn't see any all game. And I think, honestly, with Dinobots, it's kind of hard to play direct damage. Well, I don't want to say hard, but he was already playing a very interesting mixture of blues and oranges. He played the handheld blasters. Even if he draws the handheld blasters, it's cool because he can use it as the bold 1, because the deck still plays a whole bunch of double orange. So, all right, so in this attack, looks like I'm attacking with 5-7 from the press the advantage, and he has 3 defense, and it looks like the KO. Moving on to game 2. Pretty cool. Got the match. Well, pretty cool that the first game, went only about 8 minutes. It wasn't like it was like a blue versus blue matchup. That matchup could have easily taken 15 to 20 minutes on it just for game 1. But that, you know, helping us segue into game 2 is nice, because I think we get 45 to 50 minutes per round. So definitely get these games in, so we're not worried about time. I think the way we're doing time right now is in our tournaments is once time is called, whoever's turn it is turn 1 or 0. And then it goes, the next turn player gets turn 1, then turn 2, then turn 3. Or maybe it's turn 1 on the turn that time is called. So it goes 1, 2, which is, you know, the opponent, and then back to me, 3. And then if the game isn't over by turn on that turn 3, then it's a draw. So definitely want to try to get done with your rounds in efficient timing. Wow, looking at his first 3 cards. Okay, well, I see why. Jeez. His first 3, okay, well, yeah, I guess he has Snarl, so that's nice. He's attacking I bet my Prowl. Prowl is always the first to get attacked in this matchup. Oh, no, he's attacking. Okay, he attacked Optimus here because he probably knew I would put Optimus back in there again. He could probably try to KO it on his second turn. So I can see why he did that. Because even if he attacked Prowl, I wouldn't attack with Prowl till 3rd probably anyway. So he knows if I go in with Prowl any earlier, or even Ironhide, that they're easier to KO versus the Optimus. So here I use my Mirage and see that his hand is pretty slow. He had 3 of his double icon cards in his hand, his opening hand. I guess that's one of the drawbacks. He's already playing 3 Improvised Shield, 3 Peace Through Tyranny. Or is he even playing Improvised Shield? I don't know. But he's already playing those 3. Now he's also playing Handheld Blaster. So makes some of your opening hands possibly pretty bricky. I see a deck like that. I would also probably play like maybe 42 cards as well to kind of spread out the opening hands. So here I Espionage and I take his Nova's Blaster. So he's left with a Handheld Blaster, and now his options, he's again down to top decking very early game, which is good for me. He flips 2 blues on his defense, so he survives with a pretty nice or pretty decent size amount of health left. Excuse me. So here it looks like he's not putting Grimlock in, and he didn't draw something to use. So for this turn. So this is what I'm talking about. When the aggro decks don't have efficient actions and upgrades per turn, you're in a great position because all they can really do is attack while every turn you have an extra card in your hand. How many other cards you have in your hand, add 1 to that because you have your Hot Rod, your Sunstreaker, and your Mirage. I think that's the reason why the deck is so good. Because having those extra options, having more options than your opponent usually puts you in a great position. Unless you're Bugs and you just kind of don't care because kickback flips a trillion. But I'm just a kickback hater. Don't mind me. But no, it's all good. Bugs are great. So here I have no idea what I do. I feel like if I had to guess, I'll probably go attack the Sludge. Okay, so press the advantage. So I'm up to 7 attack with Optimus. Flip Sunstreaker to draw a card to give me another option for the turn. Wonder what we're waiting on. Okay, so I got 9. It's pretty strong. Oh, no, okay, I go for the Snarl kill here. Gotcha, okay. So that worked out. He's also playing Sparring Gear. That's interesting. Oh, okay, Bold 1. Not that strong of a play, but hey, the Handheld Blaster actually comes in handy because he's playing so many double oranges. He looks like he wants to attack Ironhide, but redirects to Prime. Attacks me for 7. And I block for 2. I take 5. Oh, no. I lied. I'm sorry. He did. Oh, no. Okay. I knew I was doing a voiceover on this and having no volume makes me now. And I remember he did target Ironhide first. And then my brain just said, okay, Ironhide. But then he did point to Prime and reminded me that he targeted Prime, which he should have targeted the Ironhide. I think he should have attacked down on it because he would have got the kill there. So that works out for me now. Now my Prowl is looking real hungry, ready to snack on some Grimlock Steel. That was cheesy, I know. All right, so I think Hot Rod is probably going to go for Grimlock here. Because even if I don't kill Grimlock, once he tries to heal, I think my thing is to try to, well, you know what, the Sludge doesn't have enough, or doesn't have any damage on it, so he can just, which I think he actually does next turn, he like flips to heal, and like the Sludge lives, and then Grimlock has no damage on him. So looking back, I feel like maybe I should have attacked Sludge, because on his next turn he might not put Sludge out there to die. He might go attack with the Grimlock, and then in hopes that the Grimlock lives, so then he can heal with the Sludge, another turn in the future. But I think I decide to power up Prowl as much as possible and still put damage on Grimlock anyway. I don't necessarily know if that was the correct play, but that's what I was thinking at the time. I think sometimes I do a play and then immediately after I'm like, wait, I shouldn't have done that. But it is what it is. I'm still learning. Nobody's perfect. But something, again, I wanted to address here about the reason why I played 42. Again, the way the game mechanic works and the fact that you do not deck out, and, there are cards that you play 3 of that you might not even see throughout the course of the game. For just the sheer fact that you didn't open with it, you didn't draw it with Sunstreaker, you didn't draw it with incoming transmission, you just might not ever see it based off of, how many times you flip during attacking and defending and how many cards you do flip. So overall, those extra 2 cards in your deck, or excuse me, in my deck playing 42, the percentage went from 25.5% chance of opening a 3 of to 24.1 or something like that percent after I did the math. So it's really not that serious. You really won't see and ever actually even notice it unless you really did some serious hardcore data over the course of 100 games. Like game 86, it mattered here. Game 78, it really mattered. Game 5, you know, it mattered how many ever test runs you do. Nobody's actually going to go through all that. I'm not anyway. But so overall, again, I don't think the amount of cards in your deck matter as much as play skill matters. Now, I will say I probably will never play 50 cards, and or I probably won't be playing 50 cards anytime soon, unless there are cards that come out that really help you thin through your deck and you want to play more cards. I don't see a reason why I would, but I think adding 1 or 2 cards isn't a big deal. Even possibly even playing going as high as 45, I wouldn't be opposed to. I might just try it just to do it, just to say I can do it. You know, again, play skill I think ends up overlapping and outweighing the fact that you know, you're playing more than 40 cards. So it looks like here I put a pretty sizable amount of damage on the Grimlock. In doing so, I'm confident that I'll be able to kill Grimlock with Ironhide, for the simple fact that his Sludge can't heal Grimlock this turn because it's in alt mode, unless he has a rollout. If he has rollout here, excuse me for fixing the camera. Fixing the camera did nothing but just mess with my OCD because, and there I go again. Forgive me for that, because that glare is still there. They didn't fix glare at all. Okay, but yeah, so the Sludge won't be able to heal the Grimlock this turn. As you can see, he flipped Grimlock into his other mode to give bold 3 to the Sludge. My Prowl's looking pretty clean here. He has no damage on him. He has 2 defense thanks to the bashing shield, so I think it survives here, and it does. He hits bold 3, but he only looks like he hits 1 orange. I think he has 1 more flip. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it looks like he has 1 more flip. So Prowl's looking pretty good here. I think Ironhide will be able to get on Grimlock next turn and KO it. Oh no, he has more than that. I take that back. Okay, geez, he flipped pretty good here. I think okay, Sludge is getting in there. And yeah, he knocked out my Prowl. So this looks like it's going to game 3, because no matter who so looking back, I think I made a mistake by attacking the Grimlock. And I didn't think about normally when the Sludge, I think in my head, normally when the Sludge flips, normally he dies when he heals up. When he soaks up all the damage from the other Dinobots, normally he dies. And I think seeing that play happen so many times with I Still Function just made me think that when he does that again, the Sludge will still die. But they just have just about the same health pool, and the Sludge was unaffected, or is not unaffected. The Sludge was undamaged throughout the entire game. So that was my mistake for attacking the Grimlock. I think I should have attacked the Sludge in general, but I did not. So I get a pretty nice attack here, and I do kill the Grimlock, looks like, but it doesn't matter because next turn Sludge is going to destroy my Ironhide. See, right here is an example of why the number of cards in my deck, you know, no matter how many times a percentage of things would happen or whatever. Ooh, okay, Dino Chomp, geez. Yeah, that's game. I just scoop it up. I ain't bother letting him doing all that flipping. See, that's another thing, too, as well. Small tip. You know, if you see your opponent's about to, like, especially if you're getting closer to time and, like, you're playing against a, like, if it's a blue versus orange matchup, sitting there watching your opponent doing all that isn't going to do anything but just let them feel good about themselves. Just scoop your cards up and get to the next game to save some time so you don't risk getting into game 3 and losing because of time or anything like that, or be having a draw. You know, draw is better than losing, but you don't even want to have that opportunity. You want to get full games in, have that full thought. Looks like we're at the 19-minute mark here, and if there's 50 minutes in the round, you got about, what, still a half hour left? Or even if it's about 40, like I said, I forgot, it was between 45 and 50 minutes, one of the two. So we still got a good bit of time left. So we're doing well here. And also keep in mind, when I make these plays, I'm not able to really test throughout the week. I might play a couple games with my girlfriend. I might get to go on Sundays to the my local store and play with a couple of my friends. But overall, you know, a lot of these matchups I kind of play on the fly because I don't get a lot of testing time in, you know, so I think this is probably my first or second time playing against Dinobots. So And I say that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, again, sometimes I'll do a play and then like afterwards, after I see everything that happened, like the damage on the guys or whatever, like when he had the sludge and the Grimlock and I attacked the Grimlock instead of sludge, it's like I clearly misplayed and it's like, oh man, I should have, you know, done this or that. But you learn as you go, which is nice. I think these are one of those type of games, especially right now, while the game is still fairly new and there's not a million cards out. Shout out to Wave 3 coming out. Can't wait for that. But while there's not a seriously high health, card pool, you can mess up against these matches and learn from them very quickly, and like so it doesn't happen again. Like these decks aren't like aren't vastly so different where it's like, you know, the matchup, like most if not all Dinobots are all aggro. So, you know, you learn from the last time and then you move on from there and just play better the next time. Win or you learn. Win or learn. So here I put Optimus in. I'm not focused on combining here. So the reason why I put Optimus in is to soak up attacks, because most deck he has to really flip perfectly, and like, you know, especially on his first excuse me, let me restart. Most decks on their first turn, on their second turn, right, on turn 2, they can only activate one action or one upgrade outside of, you know, playing like Bowtie Mission Gear or Brainstorm or whatever. He'd have to like supercharge his Grimlock and flip all his double oranges in order to KO my Prime on first turn. There's not many decks that can actually deal with 17 health, and I say 17 total because you have Optimus is 15 and then his 2 defense. So I put him out there as my damage soaker and expect Ironhide and Prowl to clean up. Ironhide and Prowl to clean up throughout the game. So that's the idea here. Again, I'm not necessarily focused on combining, and especially that's one thing I also want to talk about. I'm still playing the one Enigma because I can. It's like, no, I'm joking. I'm playing the one Enigma, but I'm actually going to take it out. The thing right now is with the meta is very heavily orange, and we got heavy orange bumps head so much that you're never really going to get a chance to combine. You flip-flop and reflip your guys in the backfield, you know, your Hot Rod, Sunstreaker, and Mirage. You flip them so often. Okay, so right here, by the way, looks like I did an Espionage and Sunstreaker play, and that looks like Static Laser or Ironhide. I equipped the Ironhide. I'm so glad I added that card to my deck. Looks like I get the KO on Snarl. That's a pretty big attack. Looks like 11. Oh, no, he flipped the blue, so he lives by 1. So, and I'm okay with that. Even though I didn't kill it, I'm okay with that because I know I can flip Hot Rod on the next turn and kill it. So I don't have to waste another attack on it. That's why deck direct damage is so great. Now, of course, your one-shot stand is great too, but that Hot Rod flip to get rid of that last one. You know, cards like Zap and Plasma Burst, when I first joined the game, you know, I didn't know what I was thinking about. But or know what I was talking about when I first joined the game, but I thought those cards were so trash, especially Zap. But like then I understood why those cards were good throughout time. Okay, so here it looks like, did he even activate anything? No, he's just going to attack, and I'm cool with that. And he's flipping a lot of blues. Okay, all blues. So yeah, 7. I'm definitely living off of this. Thank goodness. There's my one Enigma. So yeah, back to the Enigma. Area Bots is the only deck I could possibly want to combine against, but then again, not really, because you kind of reuse your Mirage to keep stealing their you keep reusing Mirage to steal their Enigma. And I sit here and think about this: if we had a much larger player pool, and in terms of like the meta shifting right now, if Area Bots were to continue to play, knowing that Sentinels is not a great matchup for them, they would possibly need to add a 3rd Enigma. So that way they could always definitely try to have 2 Enigmas in hand the turn before they combine. So that way, unless I have combat commands or espionage to steal both, you know, I'll only be able to steal 1 most of the time, and they'll still be able to combine. With that being said, possibly going into Maximus once they finally go into, you know, not reflipping the Mirage and just get your 6 turns to get all your guys flipped to bot mode so you can combine would be a thing. But overall, again, the meta is just heavy orange right now. So this deck can definitely win without playing the Enigma. I will admit I did not combine once this whole tournament. And I think that's the main reason why I'm going to take it out, because of the meta. There's no heavy blue deck right now. Bashing Shield is made. Blue deck's kind of inferior right now. Your deck needs Inborn Tough, that's for sure. I think that's why Area Bots do as well as they do. Like Skydive has Inborn Tough, Superion himself has Inborn Tough, so that deck is able to hang. But as Sentinels become more and more relevant, because I think 3 were in top 8 this past weekend, so I expect the next case tournament to have even more Sentinels, which obviously means more mirror matches. So something to look forward to Well, I take that back. I'm not looking forward to that. It seems kind of annoying, but it is what it is. But yeah, I have 2 matches I have 1 match to post of me playing a mirror match, and then I have another one that you'll see on Vector Sigma here within the coming weeks, possibly even sometime this week. The mirror match is very interesting. You kind of reuse Sunstreaker more than you reuse anything else to kind of refill your hand, because we're both stealing each other's cards out of each other's hands. Vector Sigma plays a little bit even more hand controlling with security checkpoint, so it's very interesting to see. And the mirror match in general, I mean, I'm pretty sure, that card is just devastating all day for them. I will say that both games that I lost in both of those mirror matches were solely because of security checkpoint. Without security checkpoint, I think I would have actually been fine in terms of my options, but just like how I did in this matchup, they were able to steal my options, and I was pretty much top decking every turn. I did have Sunstreaker to kind of help me pull back, but the Sunstreaker can only be used once every other turn, because when you flip it, you draw a card, then on your next turn you have to flip it back to alt mode, and then on your next turn you have to flip it back. So that's 3 whole turns, in order to draw 2 cards and try to revamp your hand. So that's something I would take into consideration for the next tournament. I don't think there's really that much you can do. Of course, both those games that I got security checkpointed, I ended up having a lot of upgrades. All my other matchups, I really didn't open up, upgrade heavy like that. But I'll talk about that when the match comes up. Let's get back to this one. Again, we're moving along pretty smooth here. 2 aggro matchups, so there's not really much to think about. Just equip some stuff and go cracking heads. So something I want to talk about real quick, if you're wondering why I equipped Matrix of Leadership to Prowl and not Prime. I know that happened a couple turns ago, but of course I started rambling, forgive me. But I put the Prime I knew was about to die. So I knew that putting it on him, the Matrix of Leadership wouldn't get as much value throughout turns. Possibly even, my Prime. I'm trying to think of what turn I was thinking that the Prime could have just died versus the Prowl. Well, you know what? I take that back. The turn he attacked my Prowl is the turn I thought he was going to attack my Prime and kill my Prime, but he ended up attacking my Prowl for whatever reason, and so my Prowl is able to live and get 2 attacks with him with the +1 for the Matrix of Leadership. Now, I feel like if I would have put the Matrix of Leadership on Prime, he might have attacked the Prime to get rid of it, so I don't get that spread from Matrix. But so here it looks like he's suited up and he's attacking my Ironhide. I have the Force Field here. Thank goodness for the Force Field. I like Force Field a lot right now, even though Bashing Shield's a thing. The thing is, against aggro versus aggro matchups, if you're not going to get Bashing Shield, there's no way you're going to get it early game unless you physically see me have the Force Field out. So with that being said, I might hold the Force Field for a while and play it after I possibly see 1 Bashing Shield, through your flips. Or I might espionage and call orange or green and then steal your Bashing Shield if you had it just sitting in your hand. But if you have it in your hand and another aggro matchup, if they have it in their hand and they flip another green, they're probably going to trade that green, that green for the Bashing Shield in their hand, which makes your Force Field even that much better. And if they're playing a Bashing Shield for that turn, if you do happen to get the out to it, then that means they're not playing something using a powerful upgrade with an action or whatever to boost your attack to possibly KO my characters. I think I should be good. So or it gives my characters a higher chance of survivability anyway. Not saying it's a guarantee, but it's just a theory behind it, and that possibly be one of the things I'll test next is adding more force fields to my deck. So we'll see. So it looks like my 2 of my characters get an attack down on Grimlock here. So Grimlock's in danger mode. Prowl looks like he's attacking for 12, and I think I do get the KO here. So with saying that, I would like to. I flipped 3 combat commands. Wow. With saying that, I would like to thank you all for being here, watching my first voiceover video, and I'm excited to continue to do these so you can kind of get in my head and see what I think about when I make some of these plays that I make, and these will get better with time. So I'll catch you guys later. This is S. Akuma 1921's out. Peace.